do the second option, or the set B, which is I will create a video discussing the step-by-step procedure of the following. So number one is about applying the wireless security details and configure it for the required maximum security. So as much as possible, I did my best to search for the better result for each of the given task. So here is what I searched. So how to enhance your home wireless network security. A step-by-step guide for everyone to follow, including non-tech savvy people. But first, he defines, or the author defines, home wireless security network. So we all know that it means the connecting an internet access point, such as cable from your internet service provider router, in order to allow multiple devices to connect to the network very quickly. So a simple demonstration or representation of a home wireless network connectivity is shown in this picture. We will notice that there is a bridge and then the computer within the range, two computers within the range. So this blue circle represents the connectivity of a home wireless network range, and then the Wi-Fi router is located on or at the center. Then these dots or lines that are not connected lines, this represents the Ethernet cables. And also you can see the ISP here, and above is the computer network via internet. So again, this is a simple representation of a home wireless network connectivity. The only measures most people use to protect their home network is to set up a password, right? So, and prevent neighbors and other people from taking control of your data. But we have to be more serious about security and do more than just setting a simple password. A serious risk is that an online criminal might exploit your poor Wi-Fi security measures and listen your traffic in order to retrieve sensitive information or take advantage of your network to launch malicious attacks such as man-in-the-middle attacks, network sniffing, or data theft. There is a statement also that Wi-Fi networks are not always secure networks. Wi-Fi comes with lots of security issues, and it's worth reminding about the crack vulnerability. And therefore, in this article, you will learn how you can better secure your home network and decrease the chances. So for those who have a home wireless network, this is the step-by-step procedure in order for you to lessen your security issues and decrease the chances of getting your valuable data compromised. So use this step below to enhance the security of your home wireless network. First step, or step 1, change the name of your default home network. Number 2, step 2, make sure you set a strong and unique password to secure your wireless network. Step 3, increase your Wi-Fi security, activating network encryption. Step 4, turn off the wireless home network when you're not at home. So in order for you to secure your network, we strongly recommend, so the author recommends you or us to disable the wireless home network if we are not at home. Step 5, where is the router located in your home? So the placement also of the router is also important. Place the wireless router as close as possible to the middle of your house. Why? First of all, it will provide equal access to the internet to all the rooms in your home. Then second, you don't want to have your wireless signal range reach too much outside your home, where it can be easily intercepted by malicious persons. For this reason, we recommend not to place your wireless router close to the window since there's nothing to block the signal going outside your home. So that's it. Step 6. Use a strong network administrator password in order for you to increase your Wi-Fi security. Step 7. Change your default IP address on the wireless router. Step 8. Turning off the DHCP functionality on the router. To enhance the wireless network security, you should turn off the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol or DHCP server in your router, which is what IP addresses are assigned to each device of the network. You should make use of the static address and enter your network settings. It means that you should enter into your device and assign an IP address that is suitable to your router. Step 9. Disable remote access. Step 10. Always keep your router's software up to date. So it is also required to make your software system up to date in order to prevent malicious attacks. Step 11. A firewall can help secure your Wi-Fi network. So enable also a firewall on your computer so that it will prevent attack. Step 12. Last step in order for you to protect your home wireless network is to enhance protection for the device most frequently connected to your home network. So important note, do not leave any exposed vulnerabilities for online criminals to pick on. So even though you've increased protection, even though us increase protection or the users increase protection for the router and the home network, we need to make sure that we don't have any security holes that can be exploited by online criminals. So the author also gives recommendation. So here is the recommendations he given. So final thoughts. Securing the home network should be a top priority for each of us interested in keeping the data safe and secure. These steps can be really useful even for the non-tech-savvy persons to apply. Also, do not forget that your wireless network security can be sometimes weak and prone to exploits. So it almost doesn't matter how strong your password, it is your software. So this is why we've written guide on how to secure a wireless network. So that's it. Number 2, applying firewalls on all platforms including Windows, Mac OS, Linux for certain type of usage. So about application firewall. So OS X includes an application firewall you can use to control connections made to your computer from other computers on your network. So there are two configurations in applying firewall. So configuring the application firewall in OS X version 10.6 and later. So we should use the steps in order to enable the application firewall though. So first, choose system preferences from the Apple menu. So since we don't have a Apple laptop, so let's just read the process or step-by-step procedure. Second, click security or system security and privacy. Third, click the firewall tab. Fourth, unlock the pane by clicking the lock in the lower left corner and enter the administrator using the password. Number 5 or 5th, click turn on firewall or start to enable the firewall. And last, click advanced to customize the firewall configuration. So it is simple to configure application firewall in OS X version 10.6. Now let us move forward to configuring the application firewall in Mac OS X version 10.5. So make sure you have an updated Mac OS X version 10.5.1 or later, then use these steps in order to enable the application firewall. So first is choose system preferences from the Apple menu, then click security, click the firewall tab, choose what mode you like the firewall to use. So with advanced settings, you are able to block all incoming connections, and there are steps are also provided, and then you can allow specific applications also if you wanted to. There are also steps here, and then automatically allow signed software to receive incoming connections. So there is a description below, and how to enable stealth mode, firewall, the limitations of firewall that you will going to install on your Mac or Windows PC. So that's it for the second question. So let's proceed to applying best use methods of authentication, including passwords, best password managers to use. So here are some best passwords to use, the quick guide. So 5 common authentication methods for network security. So in reality, there are passwords are becoming a patently inadequate form of security. They're simply not enough of their own. And why? Because they rely on users to walk a fine line between complexity and memorability. Most of the users opt for something that's more memorable. That means they use weaker passwords. So according to study, that most of us really use a weaker password systems. Okay, much easier man siya. So here are some passwords nga mga weak. So these are considered weak passwords. So these weak passwords are easily to hack and can basically been commonly used by many people, and it is not strong passwords, it is a weak passwords that is hackable. So there is also the fundamentals of authentication. Comparison between 5 methods of authentication for network security. So the first is the biometrics. So we all know that biometrics refers to measuring unique individual characteristics such as the retina, the iris of the eyes, fingerprints, or even the face. So according to study, while many systems use a fingerprint or retinal scan as a user or password, systems that are serious about security often use a password and a biometric scan before unlocking the computer or device. So common biometric authentication methods including fingerprint authentication. So the advantage of this is that spy modes, it seems simple to let someone's fingerprint with tape or card. So advantages and disadvantages are also provided of using biometrics as for authentication. Second is token authentication. The advantages is similar to biometric. A token is difficult to fake, so lisod siya daw pikion. And then the specific digital identity of a dongle or RFID chip is based on extremely complex security standards which are not easily spoofed by cyber criminals. But ang disadvantage is this authentication method can be easily undermined by the user. Next, transaction authentication. Advantages is it is not dependent on the users, so as it is outsourced to a monitoring team or a third party like a bank. But the disadvantages, if cyber criminals can successfully spoof a user, then they can fraudulently approve on transactions occurring under false pretenses or unquestionable contacts. Next is multi-factor authentication, which is previously discussed by our professor or by you, ma'am. Um, there are range for this option in order for generating MFA codes according to the author. First, receiving a text message, then using a dedicated authenticator application, and then last, processing a physical device in which you must push a button to verify that you are the authorized user of that account. The advantages of MFA is that low cost to implement, so barato, and then as one of the most popular methods of authentication for anything from email accounts to online banking, MFA would be relatively easy to roll out with staff. But the disadvantages is that, as with token authentication, a lost phone can quickly circumvent the security offered by the MFA. So if the cybercriminal is able to steal or spoof a smartphone, they can nullify any effect of the MFA process. Next and last is the OOB, or out of band authentication. The advantages is, just like MFA, OOB is common and low cost to implement. So as one of the most popular methods of authentication for email accounts, it is also easy to roll out with the staff members, but the disadvantages is multi-factor authentication. A lost phone can quickly circumvent, same as the MFA, or same as the disadvantage of MFA. They can nullify an effect of the MFA process. So here's a question from the author in the last portion of his work, or which authentication method is right for you. So above the mentioned authentication process, which is suitable now for you? So for me is I choose MFA, since our advisor already posted and this one, but this other authentication method is good. There's nothing wrong with it, but as far as I've noticed, there are advantages, but there are also disadvantages, because system, or even though it is a authentication, but it is not built perfect. So no one is built perfect. So as you notice, there are advantages and disadvantages of the system. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. So again, for number one, it is all about securing your home wireless network, and then for number two, it is all about creating a firewall, both Windows and Mac OS PCs, and you just I just previously mentioned the step-by-step procedure on installing the firewall, both PC, Mac and Windows. Then for number three is the authentication process. So which of those I've mentioned is your bet, or what? Above all those mentioned authentication, which is your choice? And there are also information about creating weak and strong passwords. So I already shown previously the weak password, so for you also to be aware of what are the strong passwords you need to have and for you to be aware of the weak password, so don't ever, so for you to not create the same mistakes. So that's all. Thank you, and God bless.